What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and Amber Heard is having a really tough time right now. Or in other words, she is suffering from a classic case of karma coming on back around to bite you right in the ass.
It's your ass, Mr. Postman.
I mean, seriously, as you watch this video, she's probably in a corner somewhere, crying. None of you all could possibly imagine what it feels like to be her right now. She wakes up to this, and then she turns the TV on and hears this.
Is trying to get chopped down by some gold digger, you know?
And then she's just left there in a state of utter shock, damaged, destroyed by the sight of Eve Barlow's face, distraught by the words of the legendary Mickey Rourke. She picks up her phone, dials Elaine's number, hoping for some good news, hoping for that one thing that can cheer her up, only to find out that all of her motions have been dismissed and that her lawyers and legal team have been laughed all the way out of the courtroom. And speaking of motions being dismissed, I actually have some paperwork here that I want to read for you all. Right now, I feel like an elementary school teacher. You know, one of those teachers that licks their fingers every time they grab a worksheet to hand you. That's how I feel right now as I go through this paperwork of Amber Heard's. This cause came before the court upon defendant Amber Laura Heard's post-trial motions. After review of defendant's post-trial motions, plaintiff's opposition, and the relevant statutes and case law, it is therefore ordered as follows. Defendant Amber Laura Heard's post-trial motions 1 through 6 are denied for the reasons stated on the record. Defendant Amber Laura Heard's post-trial motion 7 is likewise denied for the reasons outlined below. The purpose of voir dire is to obtain a fair and impartial jury. Voir dire is necessary to ascertain whether any juror has any interest in the case or any bias or prejudice in relation to it, and that he in fact stands indifferent in the cause. The summons issued to Juror 15 listed his legal name and address and no birth date as noted. The court has pulled Juror 15's jury questionnaire. Juror 15 completed the jury questionnaire as himself, filling in his proper birth date. The information presented on the jury questionnaire matches the information Juror 15 provided to the court. Juror 15 was vetted by the court on the record and met with the statutory requirements for service. The parties also questioned the juror panel for a full day and informed the court that the jury panel was acceptable. Therefore, due process was guaranteed and provided to all parties in this litigation. Voir dire was conducted in a fair and impartial manner, with the court and both parties examining the potential jurors. There is no evidence of fraud or wrongdoing. Further, the defendant was provided the jury list 5 days prior to the commencement of trial and knew or should have known about the mistake at any time during the 7-week pendency of this trial. She had every opportunity to object or to voir dire on the issue. Parties generally must make objections at the time a ruling or order is made to put the court on notice that an issue is meant to be preserved. Despite defendant's assertion in footnote 9 of her motion, VA Code 5A01353A clearly states, in any error in the information shown on such copy of the jury panel shall not be grounds for a mistrial or assignable as an error or on appeal, and the parties in the case shall be responsible for verifying the accuracy of such information. Emphasis added. Consequently, defendant, as well as plaintiff, had an affirmative obligation to ensure the accuracy of the information provided for the jury panel. A party cannot wait until receiving an adverse verdict to object for the first time on an issue known since the beginning of the trial. The issue has been waived. Even if the objection has not been waived, objections to any discrepancies in jury lists and any legal disabilities of potential jurors must be made in accordance with Virginia Code Section 801352. That section provides in relevant part, unless objection to such irregularity or disability is made pursuant to subsection A herein, and unless it appears that the irregularity was intentional or that the irregularity or disability to be such as to probably cause injustice in a civil case to the party making the objection, then such irregularity or disability, that word is kicking my ass trying to read so fast, shall not be cause for summoning a new panel or jury for setting aside a verdict or granting a new trial. VA Code 801352B. Furthermore, while parties must make this objection while following the above procedure, the party moving under this code section must provide some evidence of prejudice. Defendant has neither followed the proper procedure nor shown the evidence of prejudice. Defendant does not allege Juror 15's inclusion on the jury prejudiced her in any way. The juror was vetted, sat for the entire jury, deliberated, and reached a verdict. The only evidence before this court is that this juror and all jurors followed their oaths, the court's instructions, and orders. This court is bound by the competent decision of the jury. So, long story short, after reading all of that, basically what happened here is all of this stuff was just tossed out. There's no reason why we should be here in the first place. In fact, a lot of this, what Amber's team, her legal team and lawyers have been trying to do over the past few days, it's been really far-fetched. Like, I almost didn't report on the story because what they're doing is so stupid, it's almost like you don't want to even pay any attention because you knew this was going to be the outcome. Like, we knew this was going to be the outcome for a 100% fact. There was never a doubt in my mind that this would be laughed out of court. But of course, they had to try it anyway. And Amber just continues making herself look even worse. And I don't know when she's going to stop. The good news is, now, she only has, I think about 11 days to come up with like $10 million to appeal. So will she be able to do that? I don't know. If she does do it, if she somehow comes up with this money, then we know for sure that there's someone putting up the money for her. Amber's not going to come upon $10 million within the next 11 days, okay? She's just not. She's not going to become a mermaid in Aquaman 3 for a few minutes and get a big paycheck within 11 days. So if someone steps up, if she steps up with this money, then we know that someone else stepped up to help her. Would that be Elon Musk? I don't know. It would probably be a lot of these little charities and these mainstream news outlets that seem to love her and back her so much because they know it's in their best interest for Amber to somehow wiggle her way out of the situation because she's not only making herself look bad, she's making them look bad. But I want to know your thoughts about all of this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.